Good morning, good-looking people, and you're good-looking because you're always looking, and of course, you are finding the good in everything and in everybody. Hope you're well. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. Today, we're going to do the Hayom Yom for yesterday on Shabbos, which was the 25th of Teves. Today's Hayom Yom is very deep, but I'd like to keep it simple into pure messaging that today we're talking about truth, we're talking about being boundless, and being unrestricted. Right now in Chumash, we're learning Parshas Shmos, and we're going into Va'era, which is the time that the Jews are beginning their redemption from Egypt, from Mitzrayim. And today's Hayom Yom is comparing two different types of departures from Egypt. Egypt symbolizes restriction, being bound, being tied up, being restricted. And there are two different types of exoduses. One is the exodus that we talk about from leaving Egypt, where God performed all these different miracles and the Jews left, and they completely left Egypt. They were gone. They departed. The other type of exodus is our own personal exodus from where we are in this world. That we live in a world that has so much going on. It's actually quite confusing out there. It's hard to find the truth. But today's Hayom Yom and the Hasidic approach to our own personal exodus, which means leaving our own restrictions in this world, is we're not leaving like Egypt, where we made this mass parade and left with a big bang and through the splitting of the sea and the whole events. We actually still live in this world today. We still live within ourselves in dealing with this material world. The difference is that we live in this world, but we look to be boundless from this world. We want to live above it. So we embrace things and fix them as opposed to leaving them and departing from them like we did in the times of leaving Egypt. So let's read the Hayom Yom inside, and then we'll go to the message of the day. For the 25th of Teves, first some instructions. Yesterday was Shabbos Mevorchim. So on Shabbos Mevorchim, it is our custom to recite the entire book of Tehillim early in the morning and to hold a Farbrengen on that day. Second, the Haftorah for Parshas Shmos begins with Habayim Yeshara Yaakov. And again, the reason why the Rebbe makes very specific notes to where the Haftorah will start is because our custom may be different than others. And again, every time we see that, it's very important to note that. For the Hayom Yom, for the 25th of Teves, from a talk of my revered father, the Rebbe Rashab, the historical exodus from Egypt foreshadows every individual's personal departure from limits and boundaries. Beyond this, Chassidus enables us to free ourselves from the limits and the boundaries of this material world. There's a difference between the two different exoduses. A personal spiritual exodus from Egypt, in its usual sense, involves shattering worlds and shattering worldliness and abandoning it. For this reason, the Jews left Egypt. In contrast, undergoing a personal spiritual exodus from Egypt, which means working within ourselves, in the Hasidic sense, involves refining, which is known as birur, and rectifying, which is known as tikkun, liberating oneself from the limits and the boundaries of the world while remaining in the world. In other words, while being involved in the world, one ought to constantly aspire to be outside its bounds. One must remove the confinements and restraints and perceive the truth, that the world itself is in fact good, for after all, that is God what He willed it to be. And this perception may be attained through the spiritual laborers prescribed by Chassidus. Again, it's a very deep concept, but it's something that is very freeing for all of us. That the difference between us now and the Jews when they were leaving Egypt, although they were both exoduses, is that God created an unbelievable world. And He made a great world because He created it. And God is good. And everything He makes is good. However, it may seem dark, or it may seem challenged, or we may seem restricted in this world. The idea of Chassidus is to embrace our world the way it is. We are here, we have a mission. We talk about Birurim, which means upgrading the sparks around us, and tikkun, which is rectifying things around us. So what we're supposed to be doing in the Hasidic way is to embrace, to accept what's around us, but to go higher than it. That let's not be restricted by the boundaries of this world and the limits of this world and the constrictions of whatever situation we may be in. The opposite, the Hasidic way, is to embrace them, attack them, find out how we can upgrade them, find the truth in everything that we're doing, because the truth is hard to find sometimes. But God made a world of truth. And that's the mission, and that's the message of the day. We have to embrace everything around us. We need to live in this world, but beyond it at the same time, knowing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, always, that God created this world for us to rectify and to upgrade. And the world is already a great world. Sometimes we just need to do the work and to find it. So, message of the day, again, is truth. Finding your truth, finding the truth in everything that we're doing and what we're working on. And at the same time, be boundless, be unrestricted. Know that whatever your mind restricts you to be, those are just, I don't want to use that word, they're just nonsense. They're limitations that are fabricated. We can go above that. We can do better than that. And that's in your work of making yourself a better person. That's in your offices. That's in your lives. That don't create these false boundaries and get stuck by them. Everybody can dig deep. Everybody can do the work. And if you do, the sky is the limit. You can live beyond the restrictions of this world. And you can get through anything. You can accomplish anything. Don't get stuck. And that is the message of the day. Have a wonderful week. Have a successful week, and we'll talk more later.